Hi everybody, Colleen, Patrick-Goudreau from joyfulvegan.com. Today I'm going to make you chocolate pudding, chocolate custard, and call it what you like. This is actually based on a recipe in the 30-Day Vegan Challenge. In the 30-Day Vegan Challenge, we have a gorgeous vanilla custard. It's a strawberry parfait with vanilla custard. I have to show you this photograph because it's just so beautiful. So this is the strawberry parfait with vanilla custard. And all we're doing is taking this vanilla custard and making it chocolate custard because we can. Now, there's not that much of a difference between vegan custard and vegan pudding. Puddings tend to be cornstarch based. There's a starch that thickens it up. And custards traditionally have chicken's eggs, but we're not using chicken's eggs because why would you use chicken's eggs in something that's edible? And so we're just going to be using cornstarch for this, and we're going to be making it thick and wonderful and delicious and fabulous and rich and chocolatey. So that's that. So like I said, you're basically starting with a cornstarch. That's what this is, cornstarch. Easy peasy, find it anywhere. Some sugar. This is an organic vegan sugar, cane sugar. You can also use a brown sugar, but I'm just using a nice cane sugar and then a little bit of salt. And basically combine these things all together. Using a whisk is just really easy. I don't have the heat on yet, you can see. One of my kitties just joined me. And she's just too precious. She's too precious. I don't know if you just heard her, but she just agreed with me. So I'm just adding a little bit of milk in here. And then I'm just going to start getting the dry ingredients and the wet ingredient mixed up together. And then I'll add the rest of the milk and turn this heat on. Now, you can use any kind of non-dairy milk you want. I'm using an almond milk. I'm going to put this on right now. I'm actually using a combination of, I have a beautiful organic almond milk from Pacific Brands. I'm also using some Califia creamer. If you haven't tried Califia creamer, what are you waiting for? It's amazing. And it's super, the texture is just fabulous. A lot of people who become vegan talk about how one of the things that really trips them up is having a creamer in their coffee. Califia takes care of that for you. There's vanilla, there's original flavor, there's hazelnut, there's all different flavors, which are fabulous. I actually don't drink coffee, so I wouldn't know if it works, but I know people swear by it, but I actually used this in a White Russian recently, and I do recommend it. So some Kahlua, some Califia creamer, and some vodka, and you've got your White Russian, but that's beside the point. So I'm using a combination, mostly because I had the Califia in the refrigerator, and I really don't drink coffee, and I don't drink that many White Russians, so it was sitting in the refrigerator, and I wanted to use it. So it was a perfect way to use that creamer. And it's very sweet, so it's going to add some sweetness as well. So if you wanted to cut down on the sugar because you're using the Califia, then go for it. So I'm just adding the rest of our milk. The dry ingredients are already combined. And when you're making a pudding like this, I mean, look, I grew up on chocolate puddings and, well, I was going to say vanilla puddings, but I didn't because I only ate chocolate. But I grew up on those puddings that we bought from a little box. And you're paying a lot of money and you're paying for packaging and you're wasting packaging. And ultimately, it's cornstarch and sugar. So you do not have to buy these like pre-packaged little boxes of pudding mix stuff. You just need to just do this. It's cornstarch and sugar and some salt and milk. That's all it is. So basically, you're going to be whisking this together. You really want to get this to a boil. You can't see it, you're right, there's nothing happening. So just trust me on this. We'll come in closer when it starts to get thicker. Once it comes to a boil, you're really gonna wanna whisk it because it's gonna start getting thicker, and it's gonna start getting thicker pretty quickly. Now, I'm gonna add some vanilla. You can add the vanilla in now as well. This is actually a perfect time to add it. So any kind of vanilla extract that you like. There's also like, you know, hazelnut extract. I mean, you can add whatever flavoring you want. You really can add a liqueur to this as well, and then you'll have a fabulous liqueur custard pudding. So you can do all of this and get to the point where I'll show you when the custard gets thick, and you don't even have to add the chocolate chips. So you can make this as a vanilla custard, like I said, is already in the 30-Day Vegan Challenge. So once this comes to a boil, we're gonna keep whisking it, and it's gonna get a lot thicker. You can see right now, it's just pretty much just the milk. So I'm gonna whisk this. That's all you're doing when it comes to the pudding, is whisking it to make sure it doesn't curdle and burn and making sure it's thickening up. That's really all the time it takes. Give it a boil, let it come to a boil, and then you're gonna keep whisking it. The important thing also is you're going to want to take it off the heat once it starts thickening up, and you put it in what's called, they're called baths, basically a water bath. And it's just cold water with ice. The ice has melted at this point. But once the mixture has become thickened, then you're going to want to put it in a cold bath to stop the cooking right away. And that'll continue to create the consistency that we're looking for. So we will be right back, and I'm going to show you how much thicker this is going to get. Okay, so it is so much thicker now, as you can see. And at this point, we're going to add our chocolate chips. I've said it a number of times, but at this point, if you were just going to make the vanilla custard, you would then put it into our bath that I'm going to show you in a second. If you want to add the chocolate chips, this is the time to do it. So I'm going to add our chocolate chips. I'm hoping you'll be able to see this. So you're just going to whisk in your chocolate chips, and it is going to, well, give me a second, because it'll melt. Oh my gosh, just gorgeous. Can you see that? Yeah? So just whisk the chips in. It was about a half a cup, by the way, of semi-sweet chocolate chips. You can add any of your favorite chocolate bars or chocolate chips. Semi-sweet, dark chocolate. Really, chocolate by nature is vegan. Just when you add cow's milk, is it no longer vegan because you're adding the milk of a cow. But by nature, chocolate comes from the cacao bean, which is a plant, so it is vegan by nature. And so semi-sweet by definition is vegan, dark chocolate by definition is vegan. The different percentages that you see just have to do with the amount of sugar that's added, so that if it's more bitter versus sweeter, and I just use the semi-sweet. You do have to look at labels because some companies play with definitions and they call it semi-sweet even though they add cow's milk. That's not by definition semi-sweet. It's not. So if it's milk chocolate, obviously it has cow's milk. So at this point, we want to stop this cooking process right now. And we have our, I'm not going to say it in French because I just don't have a great French accent, but you'd put it either right into a cold bath, or you would pour the chocolate pudding or the custard, the pudding, the vanilla, whatever, into a bowl that's inside of the bowl that has the bath of cold, cold water. So ice should be in there. Like I said, mine just melted after a while. And then you just whisk it a little bit more. And, you know, you just keep moving it. It's going to develop a skin. That's just what happens. Now, when I was little, I have to admit, I loved my chocolate pudding with a skin on top. If you don't want a skin on top, once you pour this into your parfait glass or your bowls, whatever, then you want to cover it with a plastic wrap and it'll prevent the skin from forming. But if you don't mind it, you don't have to cover it, you know, to keep it fresher. It's probably a good idea to cover it. And so that's basically all we would be doing. I'd give this a few more minutes. You want to make sure that the water from the bottom doesn't spill into your parfait glass. But at this point, you would start transferring this into your different parfait glasses. You could put some strawberries, you could put raspberries, you could put chocolate shavings, whatever you want to make this really pretty. What I did was just put this into a parfait glass. It sets up very quickly in the refrigerator, and look at the texture. I mean, this is the chocolate pudding. So this is how thick it is, how wonderful. This is what I mean when I say that you do not need to go buy all of those instant, was I talking? I forgot what I was saying. So anyway, chocolate pudding, chocolate custard, whatever you want to call it. Go to 30dayveganchallenge.com to get your copy or to sign up for the online program. You can get a discount if you sign up for both, or go to joyfulvegan.com and you can find all of my blog posts, my Food for Thought podcast, my vegan point of view videos on YouTube. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, subscribe to the mailing list on joyfulvegan.com, and have yourself a compassionate day. For the animals, this is Colleen, Patrick-Goudreau. Thanks for watching.